Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Messages from Heaven podcast with me, Medium Bonnie Page. And I have a special guest on today. She is a psychic medium as well, and her name is Bridge. And today we're going to be talking about how this is a brand new 9-year cycle. So we've just finished one, we're going into a brand new cycle. What that means for you, how you can adjust your thinking to that, and putting to bed the old stuff and bringing in the new. So welcome, Bridge. How are you?
Uh, I'm doing great today, Bonnie, and I'm so glad that we're talking about nines, one of my favorite numbers, because it is completion of a cycle. It's such an exciting time for all of us. I don't know anybody that said 2025 was their favorite year, so we're going to do a little reflection, set some intentions, maybe learn a little about some rituals that can help us. And it's just an exciting time that we're January 2026, and so happy to be here, and thank you for having me, Bonnie.
Thank you for joining me as always. I always love having you on the podcast. I know that a lot of people are going kind of like out with the old and in with the new. And in a cycle, like a 9-year cycle, it makes a lot of sense because we've really been through a lot in the last 9 years, things that needed to happen, but now in such a beautiful way of moving on. So, what does the meaning of the closing of a 9-year cycle mean? I'm going to let Bridge tell you about that a little bit.
The closing of a 9-year cycle means that it's a period of reflection and reevaluating some of the goals that you've had in the last 9 years. Take a look at the progress that you've made, set new ones, see what actions you can create to manifest your dreams. The 9 cycle completion is a unique opportunity to do this, and January is the perfect starting point for this activity. So we want to encourage all you listeners to get your pen and papers out and be ready to hear about the process that we're going to talk about 9 and the completion cycle.
Yes, because that's what it's all about. We're completing that 9-year cycle, and it's a chance to release, let go. Um, and so I'm excited about that. And if you've been seeing the number 9 or you always resonate with the number 9, it's for a reason, right? The 9 in numerology, right? The end of a 9-year cycle, closing, however, the 9-year cycle in numerology is a significant milestone because the years go from 1 to 9 in numerology. It marks a period of completion, transformation, encouraging individuals to reflect, to release, but also to prepare for a new start. So it's almost like, okay, I'm going to make my vision board at the beginning of every new year. And that's okay because you want to set your sights on things that you want to come up in the new year. But especially because this is a new, 9-year cycle. I mean, it's a big deal. And the
It's a
number,
big deal.
yeah.
Sorry, it's a big deal, but it's also because it's at the end of the cycle. We have the wisdom and the compassion to know the difference on things. So we can even make an action plan for so much better. It's all about
Power
the
of
experience
ending.
we've gained.
Yeah, the power of endings and new beginnings, right? So, welcoming this fresh year, um, pausing, reflecting, I should say, honoring. You want to honor what we've been through, and it's the end of a chapter. So,
Right,
I'm going to go through, Bridge and I are going to go through that 9-year cycle with you, right? So
right.
different years have different themes about the 9-year cycles. So year one, right, which we would be in this year because this is going to be our new year. Um,
Number one,
what new beginnings took root in 9 years ago. And if you can't remember that you have to think, oh, let's see, I'm this age, what happened 9 years ago? But there's just
Well,
some things that you can ask questions, right? What was going on in your life 9 years ago?
what was going on in 2017? Did you get married? Did you have a
2017.
baby? Did you have a breakup? There's usually like something significant that happens that begins in the beginning of the ninth cycle.
And
So,
can you remember that in the beginning of a 9 cycle, like we're going to be doing this year, we are planting seeds for the next 9 years. So maybe you had a baby in 2017, or maybe you created a job or a business, right? So the first year is all about planting seeds. And then years 2 and 4, you got that bridge?
oh yes, that's 2018 to 2019. You want to think about your relationships, your partnerships, whether love, business, friendships, and what kind of growth did you have in them? What new ideas flowed? What did you do differently in communicating? And how did you develop your inner strength? In particular, sometimes we have some pitfalls in life. How did we deal with them? How did we deal with sudden changes? How did we deal with adjusting to new beginnings that we started in year one? So it's something for the listener to think about, ponder, but it's all about what growth that you did in 2018 through 2019.
And then we move on to, that's so funny. They kind of skipped over to 2 to 4 and then
Uh-huh.
5 to 7.
Yes,
So,
they did.
um, and 5 to 7, right? What years are those, Bridge?
5 to 7 is the year 2020 to 22.
Wow, right?
Yes, that's more
Um,
recent.
Yeah. And so recall moments of expansion or challenges and personal transformation in those years. And you can probably remember, just a few years ago, right? Did you experience changes in career, location, beliefs, right?
Those are key indicators that you're growing as a person. When you experience these changes and how you respond to them and things like that, it's also listening to little nudges from the universe because usually we listen to our gut feelings and why we made these changes, maybe in our love lives, in our businesses, or in the fact where we're living. Um, it's multi-factors that are involved that create these changes, but just know the universe is always working with you. And when you're in your flow during these pivotal years of 5 and 7, you will experience these changes.
Perfect. And years 8 and 9. So that was just like 2000,
That
what, 24 and 25,
yeah,
right?
23 and 25, it's just the last
Um,
2 years.
reflect on, just give yourself a moment to reflect on the accumulation of your efforts, the lessons that you learned, and the themes of completion. What have you realized about yourself in the last 2 years? I mean, that's a lot to ask yourself. What have you learned about yourself in the last 2 years? Right?
Right. And like for example, Bonnie, more and more in the last couple of years with our readings post-COVID, a lot of the times are about dramatic changes and, oh, wow, should I be moving now? Should I be changing location? People had a lot of introspective during COVID in 21 and 22. It was a really crucial time for everybody to reflect and to, um, plan your changes. And a lot of people did those changes in 23 and 25. So we've just seen that.
And so, we should add that whenever there's a chance to slow yourself down, when you can go inward instead of just, going outwardly and seeing what's happening. But if you can go inwardly and you can quiet your mind, that's when all the creative juices flow as well. That's when you realize what's working and what's not, whether that's in a job or a relationship. Or spirits even telling me sometimes when you just quiet your mind, you can ask yourself, what am I missing? Because
That
might be
meditative
missing something that's crucial to your life, to your soul's growth, but you're so busy, you're just one day after another. And that's really not what we want to do. That's really not how we want to live our lives.
The need for a meditative state is key to knowing what are the best changes to make or not make. It helps lead your soul's purpose. And we're going to talk a little bit about some rituals with the closing of the cycle 9 that will lead you into a meditative state to help you.
And just remember, this is the beginning of a 9-year cycle. So it's all about year one, right? Like, what do we want to take a root this year in our life, right? So this is starting the new cycle. What seeds do you want to plant this year so they can just spout and grow? So this is about this year right now coming up. 2026 is what seeds do you want to grow, and how do you want to see them grow, and what do you want this year to become, because it's the beginning of the 9-year cycle. And so whatever you plant this year, it's going to take time to grow, right? Like a seed, like a flower,
Yes.
like a vegetable. But think with intention. What do you want to plant for
How
seed?
you want to manifest your future. And the first step is to have your safe space. Have a spot in your home that is cleansed, that feels comfortable to you, that you can relax in. And then light a candle, set the ambiance, set the beginning for your prayer or meditation, or if you want to call it, just sitting and focusing on your gut reaction, what you need to help you get to that state to start manifesting your future now.
And so, something I want to interject there a little too. There's meditation, which just quiets your mind and puts you in that beautiful space. But there's also something called, which is becoming more familiar to more people, is called sitting in the power. And that's actually when we're quieting our minds, but we're kind of opening up our chakras. We're kind of opening up our minds, our third eye, our hearts, to the world around us, our spiritual family around us, our soul family around us, your guides, your angels, your loved ones, your ancestors. So sitting in the power and just really getting used to feeling that energy around you, is going to be beautiful actually for everyone if they can learn to sit in the power. And if you want to know more, I have a YouTube video on my YouTube channel, Medium Bonnie page, that is all about sitting in the power, because it's really about raising your intentions, but being able to feel the spiritual world around you. So a little different than meditation, where you're just quieting your mind. With sitting in the power, you're opening yourself up to receive information, which is really cool, especially if you're here on a psychic mediumship channel, right?
Absolutely. That could be a whole nother podcast, Bonnie. But I recommend
Absolutely.
everybody to check out Bonnie's YouTube videos on sitting in the power. I personally have been blessed to be part of that experience with Bonnie, and it certainly is powerful and it gets stronger with practice. So visit it as
Absolutely.
many times as you can.
So the same thing, you can, light a candle, play some music or not. hold your favorite crystal. I can tell you now, my favorite crystal is rose quartz. It's all
Oh,
about unconditional love, and it's always right here next to me on my reading table. But whatever crystal resonates for you, right?
right. And I do not have crystals to share today because I'm using my favorite fragrance. You can also use aromatherapy in rose quartz
Oh,
to get
perfect.
you to that spot too sometimes. You
And
know,
I wanted to add too, because I was just telling a friend to make herself a sacred space in her house. And I said, do you have a diffuser? Do you have sage in it, or rose in it, or lavender, right? Make a place that's just for you to do this.
exactly, exactly.
Now, what's really powerful, Bridge, when you're setting intentions?
I think the most powerful thing that you can do when you set the intention, especially in terms of this new cycle that we're entering, because we're moving on, is to embrace the new beginnings, to welcome fresh opportunities and allow yourself to grow in new directions. So prior to sitting down and settling in your space, take some time to jot down clearly what your intention for the new year is. For example, if your intention for the new year is to have a new home, you'll write down, in year 2026, I will find my home for the highest and best purpose, or something, you know what I mean, that is simple but all encompassing, so that you can work with that intention in your mind clearly and visualize it. It's also to practice gratitude, to be grateful for what you have, to thank whatever deity, God, spirit, whomever that you pray to express that gratitude prior to setting your intention and opening your prayer. I also think that it's important to close it with gratitude as well.
And you
Um,
really can put this on a piece of paper, and I always say, when you write something down, it gives the universe permission to step in and start helping you. It really does. And I just want to add that Bridge is kind of talking about a new home. And I just keep hearing also, if you're looking for that relationship that's going to stick, they're telling me that the best thing that you can do, I just got this in a reading before this podcast from a guardian angel, and she said, just to give out the love that's within your heart for no reason, not to get it back, not to expect it back, not to think, is this the one? Is he or she for me? But really just to keep giving out all the love in your heart that you can. And then that's how your heart becomes filled. And that's how you attract that person to you. Not at a place of, I want a relationship, but at the place of, I'm already fulfilled, but I would love someone to join me on this journey. So I just was told that by a guardian angel, and she was really like this about it. So yeah, but write those intentions down. And
so,
I,
Bonnie, what you're
yeah,
saying is give the unconditional love to others without strings, without any,
no
just
strings, no
being
attachment.
yourself, to encourage everyone to be themselves.
You're just giving love. And not only to people, it could be to animals, it could be to somebody in the grocery store that you don't know. It can be opening a door. It doesn't even take money to give unconditional love. It can be that ear to someone that walks up and starts talking to you. But it's just really about letting that heart chakra flow without any expectations. I'm just going to be a blessing to those who I meet. I'm just going to be a blessing. Set
Bonnie, I
your
think you're
intentions.
helping a lot of people write their intentions right now.
I hope so.
I
I
think
hope
so.
so.
That's a big one.
I'll tell you a little secret. before I became a full-time medium, I had quit a high-paying management job because I wanted to be like a stay-at-home mom with my son and be, involved in his school activities. So I went to school for nails, and yeah, I started a salon and esthetician work and everything. But one day I said to God, I just sent up a thought, God, you let me do nails for a long time. And he said to me, I was teaching you to counsel because
Mm.
every 2 weeks I was getting those women in that wanted their nails done. And right beside me, I had written a note that said, be a blessing. I heard a lot of stories, and I did become that counselor. God's going to use whatever stage you're in your life to be able to help others.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So we're going to
Um,
do that. We're going to set the intentions. We're going to write it down. Um, And then name some things that you're ready to let go of. I know that I have fear inside of me sometimes, and I know that God tells me when you're fearing, you're not trusting me. But it's hard sometimes to say, I have a fear of this. I have a fear of being alone. I have a fear of not having enough. I have a fear of the future. Um, and so it's okay as we're starting this year, number one, to say, I have a fear of this, but I want to let it go in this numerology of this first year. I no longer want to take that into my new year.
Correct. And that's part of cultivating inner peace, to nurture yourself, to give yourself self-compassion, to realize it's okay to say, all right, I fear being alone, or I fear that I won't reach my goals or whatever that is. And then you need to say to yourself, it's okay. I'm going to be okay. God's got a plan for me. Really, life is really good. I have my inner peace. I have compassion for myself primarily and for others, and to realize that we're all human. And that will really help you manifest some of the goals that you want for this year.
And just remember fear, FEAR, false evidence appearing real. But it hasn't happened yet, and we make it almost real. So, false evidence appearing real, but it hasn't happened. And it's so much better to go with faith than with fear. Faith will move you along on your journey, especially in this new 9 year cycle where fear is going to hold you back. Okay, so go with the faith and realize that your fears, they might never come true. So don't give them too much. So,
Psychologists say that 90% of what we fear doesn't come true. And that 10%, it didn't matter anyway. It wasn't as fearful as we thought it would be.
good, 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 good. So
Yeah.
just remember, I lovingly let go, making space for my new blessings. I lovingly let go of all of that, and I make space for my new blessings in this new year of this 9 year cycle, right? And then there's always a beautiful cleansing breath, right? Just breathing in through your nose, holding it to your heart, waiting 1, 2, 3 seconds, and letting it out. Here, Bridge, do this with me. In and out. Doesn't that feel better, everyone? Sometimes I have to remind myself, just take a deep breath, just take a deep breath. So it's such a wonderful thing. We're leaving something old behind, but we're starting something new. So embrace these new beginnings this year. This is exciting stuff, ending and new beginnings. Um, and there's just some, intentions that you can say with that. Do you see the first intention, Bridge?
Sure. Um, the first intention is to embrace your new beginnings, to welcome fresh opportunities, and allow yourself to grow in new directions. Now, that's all very
Amen.
personal, so feel free to fine tune it to what the fresh opportunities are. Be specific and allow yourself to grow towards that direction. So, if, for example, if you really want to move up in your job, say, hey, I really want this promotion, and I'm going to allow myself to connect with these coworkers, or I'm going to allow myself to reach out to this marketing group, or I'm going to, whatever direction that you want to take it in, be specific, write it down, be clear to yourself. And that is an important part of creating your intention.
Because really, we want to nurture peace. This is a beautiful intention, is to cultivate inner peace at this time. And
Yes.
I know it's hard, you guys, sometimes. Come on, Bridge and I are regular people here. Doesn't matter if you're a psychic medium, you go through stuff and you're like, holy son of a biscuit. But we're trying to help you, because as we're trying to help you, we're helping ourselves too. But you can say to yourself, I nurture peace within and I seek harmony, which is a big word, in my relationships and in my daily life, right?
Absolutely.
And
And
that's what we're craving, peace. Believe me, we're all craving a little bit of that peace that's there.
yep,
And number 3, do you want to read that, Bridge?
sure. Number three is my favorite,
It
and it's the
is. You
one.
mentioned it a little.
Yeah, well, I mentioned it because I'm a firm believer, and as soon as you wake up in the morning, give gratitude, look around and say, I give gratitude to this fluffy pillow. I like the fact that there's heat in my room. I give gratitude to that, all the little things. So when you're setting your intentions and you want to close your intentions, radiate gratitude and kindness, celebrate the blessings around you, and share kindness with others. This goes right back to what Bonnie was talking
Be
about.
a blessing.
Yes, and
And
give
that's
unconditional love. It doesn't cost anything. Kindness, compassion for others. It should be as easy as breathing in and as breathing out. It's part of you, and you're giving a part of yourself. It should just be in synchronicity with yourself, and it certainly makes you feel a lot better.
And remember, if these aren't intentions that resonate with you, you can make your own intentions for your new beginning. But we promise you that if you're a blessing, blessings come back to you, and kindness going out. Sometimes it's not returned, but it's noticed, okay? You know in your heart if you're a kind person or not, right? It comes
Absolutely.
back to you. So I'd like to give you a little prayer for the new year, welcoming new beginnings. So if you want to take a moment and just close your eyes, or just take a moment to listen. This is an uplifting prayer to support your transition into a new cycle. Divine source of light and love, as I close this chapter and I step into a new beginning, I thank you for the wisdom and growth of the past. Help me to release what no longer serves me and embrace my journey ahead with an open heart and an open mind. Please guide my steps, inspire my spirit, and fill each day with hope and peace and joy. May this new cycle be blessed with harmony, abundance, and loving connections. I welcome to me this year all that is meant for me, and I trust in the unfolding of my highest good. Amen.
Amen.
And so it is. Isn't that beautiful? You know,
Absolutely, Bonnie. That's a
such a
gorgeous
beautiful,
prayer.
beautiful prayer for this new year ahead. It really is. So, conclusion, embracing the new cycle with hope and clarity. Take it away, Bridge.
Okay. Now that you understand a little bit about the nine cycle and what it means for all of us, you want to honor the close of the 9-year cycle and welcome the next. Remember that every ending is a beginning, and let your reflections, rituals, and intentions guide you gently into the future. Trust in your growth, cherish your journey, and step boldly into the new year, knowing you are supported, loved, and I always say valued and ready for all that awaits. It's a great time to be January at the end of the 9-year cycle, and it's time for all of us to embrace what we want in the next 9 years.
I just I just love it because it's a new month, but it's a new year in numerology too. So um, lots of just thinking about what we want in the next, not only the next year, but the next 9 year cycle. Um, and I think I'm going to write down at the end of every year what's happened, and we can do this again in 9 years. Because some years I was like, I know in the last year, 25 was big, big changes for me, and it's still kind of sinking in here as I moved across the country and I downsized and I left the old and actually started new last year. So, but I feel comfortable that I'm leaving last year behind, and I feel comfortable starting the new year with my everything that happened. So it's wonderful, and I wish that all for you. So I thank you for being here, Bridge. Where can people get in touch with you? Bridge
Oh,
does readings as well.
yes. Hi. I can do phone readings, Zoom readings, and if you're in the Central Mass area, I can do in-person readings. You can contact me, and don't laugh at my phone number. It's real. 978-660-6686. I know it's a lot of sixes.
Okay, can I just chime in and say I turned 66 this year?
Wow.
Hey, just
See?
add it to
A
your
lot of
sixes.
sixes
That's all,
happening.
Bridge. And guys, you can find me everywhere, website, YouTube, anywhere under Medium Bonnie page if you just Google it. And the next video, I'm going to offer you two courses, free courses that I just put on YouTube that you can learn from in the comfort of your own home, and their videos. So watch for the next video that's going to be popping up, and I hope you enjoy those courses. I hope you enjoyed today's show. I hope it was uplifting to everyone, and I thank Bridge so much. Love her being here. She's an excellent reader, as an excellent person as well, and we'll put her information in the comments as well for you. So thank
Thank
you,
you,
everyone.
Bonnie.
Mwah. I love you all,
Happy New
and
Year.
happy new year, happy new
Woo!
first year of cycle, going down to number 9 again. So
We get the do-over.
we're a do-over. Yay. Make it
Yay!
a good one. I'm just hearing from Spirit. Make it a good one. So
Remember, faith over fear.
faith over fear. Thank you, everyone.
Yep.
Look
Bye.
at the
Happy New
next
Year.
video. Bye, hun.